Hi everyone, I'm Reena, and this is Resonant Space. So today I want to talk about something just a little more practical, and that is don't leave the clerical stuff until the end. So, a lot of times when you're writing music, and especially when you're copying it into notation software, which is usually just very stressful and awful. My least favorite part of composing is copying something into notation software. So you think to yourself, okay, I'm just gonna copy the notes and rhythms, and I know what I intended this section to be. So, I'm just gonna leave it, and then I'll go back, I'll do all the dynamics, the phrasing, the bowing, the articulation, I'll do all of that later, and I'll just do it all at the end. And what inevitably happens is you land up with this piece that has a ton of notes and rhythms in it, but has no dynamics, no articulations, no even descriptions of what people need to do, no words that can kind of guide people. And then you're charged with putting all of that in at the very end of the piece. And especially if you're on a deadline, the amount of time you have to do that is maybe a day. Unless you are super early on deadlines, which God bless you if you are, but I certainly am not. So then what ends up happening is that you're kind of like, what is the least amount of dynamics, articulations, anything I can put into this piece? And you're just kind of going through like, yeah, that pretty much looks like it should be forte. Oh yeah, this section is piano. Everyone can just play piano here. We don't even need any crescendos. They'll know just the way the phrase goes. It should be fine, whatever. And I mean, I'm sure some of this resonates with you guys that you've had those thoughts before, just as you're scrambling towards the end of a piece. And unfortunately, then the players will get your parts and feel like, oh, this person might not really have known what they wanted here. They really weren't very intentional, And so what I like to do is that I like to write a whole idea when I'm writing an idea down. So the minute I copy that first phrase into Sibelius, I take the time to slur it the way I want to slur it, to put the right articulations in, to give it a dynamic profile, to give it little crescendos and diminuendos, to give it some texture, whatever I want. If I want a specific word that inspires that passage, maybe it's lyrical, maybe it's mysterious, whatever it is, I put that information right in there. And what I find is two things. It actually makes it faster because if I need to kind of copy and paste that phrase somewhere, just copy and paste it and then change it to something else, all of that information is already in there. And then when my music is done and the musicians are looking at the parts, everyone is seeing a part that has really been carefully thought through, where each time a melody reoccurs or something, it'll have that kind of same or similar dynamic profile. And if I want it to be different, then I just go in and edit the ones that I want to be different and then keep the ones that are the same. So there's a lot of consistency already. I don't have to go in, remember what I did before, and then remark it. And I also find that time when you're putting in the dynamics and the articulations and putting in all that additional information is a really great chance for you to reflect on what you want the theme to be. So you have to make these decisions. You have to decide, okay, do I really want this to be forte or mezzo forte? Do I really want the bowing to be in this specific way? And then so you're trying those things out at the very beginning. So you have a very sophisticated sense of what you want that line to sound like or what you want that chord progression to sound like because you've thought of all these different parameters right at the beginning. And I often find that examining my music from all these different perspectives at the very beginning really allows me to have a clearer sense of what I want the piece to be and allows me to define things a little bit more at the beginning so I can understand exactly what I'm working with moving forward.